Formal streetwear is a term I coined in late 2023 as a substitute for semi-formal attire when I was originally trying to describe the style of two French photographers. The term would eventually go viral on TikTok. This style combines the foundation of streetwear with elements of formality, achieving an effortless look that takes the best components of both. To be honest, I actually didn't realize how popular the term formal streetwear had become until I recently discovered various articles and blogs discussing it, and even brands creating their entire identity around formal streetwear, which is very cool to see.
Formal streetwear fashion.
The term formal streetwear was occasionally thrown around back in the day, but was never actually taken seriously. Whenever I think about the words semi-formal or business casual, the images that always come to mind are things like this. I wanted to create a better term for the style I was trying to describe. Before we dive into formal streetwear, I wanted to show some examples of the style in action and some examples that aren't. How are formal streetwear outfits even styled? A good showcase is from Nakhyia, a stylist working for the retail brand Totem Brand Co. Totem Brand, based in Philly, focuses on American-made and manufactured brands, with an emphasis on high-quality, durable, and practical fashion. This is Soul, in a needles cardigan and engineered garments blazer with totem overpants and pair of boots styled by Nakhyia. This is a great example of maintaining that foundation of streetwear while also achieving formality. Here's Kamar in Bodhi, engineered garments, Orslo, Capital, AURALEE, and pair of boots. And lastly, this is Bent in Comme des Garçons, Bodhi, and pair of boots. Big shout out to Nakhyia, honestly one of my favorite stylists that I've found and take inspiration from time to time. This is her IG, so definitely go show her some love. Now let's just take a quick look at an example that is not formal streetwear. Shorts in many cases are always going to lean on the casual side, a hat is basically never formal, and a hoodie with a tee underneath is not formal either. The only thing formal here would be the shoes. This whole outfit is very much a streetwear dominant. So, looking back at the timeline, how did we end up in this current state of fashion? Let's rewind to the 2015-2020 era. At this time, Chicago 1s and other sneakers like Tom Sachs were so hyped that simply wearing them could make you seem stylish, regardless of how horrendous the rest of your outfit was. Over time, sneakers like New Balances and Sambas also had their moments in the spotlight, continuing the cycle of sneaker trends. Nowadays, it feels like fewer people are focusing on sneakers, and instead formal footwear is becoming more popular. However, unlike sneakers, formal footwear often doesn't dominate the outfit. It complements and works seamlessly with a variety of styles. Just take a look at the vast change in what teenagers were wearing in 2014.
Zip up 100, an Adidas t-shirts like 50, some jeans, we're going 600 I think, like Gucci socks.
No way. Whoa. One more time.
Compared to 2024.
What you doing today?
What's up?
What's your name? Where you from?
George Davies. I'm from NYC.
NYC is in the house. Stop playing with them, man. Woo, what a fit. Describe it today.
Alright, so the George from Almaland Door.
ALD, okay.
Socks are from an upcoming band called Food. Gazi. The loafers are from G Bass.
Okay.
And the shirt, you don't talk about that.
Ooh, my boy said we ain't gonna talk about that.
One big factor that could be contributing to the rise of formal streetwear in mainstream audiences is Tyler the Creator. But before giving flowers to Tyler, I'd like to mention someone who has had a significant influence on mixing the two styles, ASAP Nast. ASAP Nast, a rapper and member of the ASAP mob, was casually putting together some of the best outfits from 2017 to 2022. Many people in the community unanimously considered him the best dressed rapper during that time. His influence even extended to the likes of Tyler the Creator, leading to a style feud between the two, with Nast accusing Tyler of stealing his outfits. I was reading an article where they were talking about how Nast mixes references from his Harlem background with more traditional menswear pieces like cardigans, sweater vests, suits, and trench coats. The article proposed the question if it is in fact revolutionary, but in my opinion it is debatable, but most likely no. However, it is influential. Before we delve deeper into the feud between Nast and Tyler, let's rewind once more to showcase what is truly revolutionary in terms of mixing formality and streetwear. Let's go back to Thelonious Monk, an American jazz pianist and composer. He had a unique style and made numerous contributions to the standard jazz repertoire. I discovered Monk while watching a live TV jazz broadcast showcasing performances from the past and saw him wearing a particular beanie along with a checkered blazer. What surprised me the most was that this was actually from the 50s. Monk's sense of style was far ahead of his time. You'd never be able to tell that this specific album picture was from 1954 based off his clothing. Baseball caps like that existed since the 1920s, but wearing them in a casual, everyday way was definitely not widespread. A grown man wearing a baseball cap was unusual unless he was a baseball player in an active game. Also, that big baggy untucked shirt was pretty different, at least for a 50s jazz musician to wear on an album cover. If you told me that was an outfit of a late 80s, early 90s rapper, I'd believe it, but it's crazy that this was from the 50s, and all of his outfits during that time I would consider formal streetwear. His headwear was also top-notch, inspired by many different cultures. Aside from his abundant fedora collection, he wore many papaka beanies, which were wool hats worn by men throughout the Caucasus. The word papaka is of Turkic origin. Some of his beanies and his caracal hats look very reminiscent of Tyler the Creator as well. Another notable mention in the jazz space would be Miles Davis, who had so many amazing looks throughout his career and always seemed so effortlessly stylish. Moving back to the Tyler and Nast style feud, the beef between Tyler and Nast started in May of 2020 when Nast accused Tyler of jacking his style. Quote, "I see y'all stealing the drip, it's all good, you know, just pay me some homage. Tyler, just make sure next year I got some golf playing tickets," Nast said in a post on his Instagram story. Quote again, "I don't want to call you next year to get tickets cause you're going to be on stage dancing around looking like me anyway." Nast specifically pointed out two looks that Tyler supposedly copied. One was a fit that Nast wore to a Converse one-star event in London in 2018, centered on a leopard print Comme des Garçons sweater vest from its spring-summer 2018 collection. 2 years later, Tyler wore a golf sweater vest with a leopard print of the 2020 Brit Awards, which led Nast to make his initial accusations. Later, ASAP Nast posted a photo of himself wearing a light brown bucket hat with a pinstripe button shirt and compared it to a fit that Tyler recently wore, which is arguably almost identical. The continuous back and forth went on, with Nast stating that he hasn't gotten his flowers yet, but has learned to accept that it likely won't happen until he passes away. It's worth noting that there are plenty of people who admire his fashion sense and consider him one of the best dressed rappers today. It's also worth noting that the whole Adidas Samba resurgence and popularity of Sambas from 2021 to 2024 can be sourced back to Nast. Interestingly enough, Jerry Lorenzo, who commented on Nast's initial post, later went out and got a pair for himself, which led to an even bigger wave of popularity behind the shoe at the time. I definitely understand his frustration of not being credited for things you've done, and it's something people might not understand until it actually happens to them. Moving past this whole beef, we get to slowly but surely see Tyler's style skyrocket to an incredibly wide audience. Guys like Tyler are the reason why fashion TikTok and fashion Instagram have been moving towards loafer-based outfits and away from sneaker-based. Not saying sneakers are out of style, but that hype bubble definitely popped sometime in 2022, leading us to move towards classic footwear and tension-building outfits that mix different styles. Terms like eclectic grandpa rose to fame with colorful knitwear, tweed, loafers, patterned boxer shorts, sensible sneakers, baseball caps, and even wristwatches. The entire point of the trend is to dress like somebody who has spent a lifetime curating a collection of clothing and accessories that speak to their own individuality. Older folks have been setting the trend for a long time, and one page that has been curating the most stylish grandparents since 2016 is Grandparents. There's a lot of inspiration for formal streetwear here, and they do it so effortlessly. They truly are the real inspirations of the style and have been redefining it for decades. Looking at how this style can inspire others, it also attracts the baggy population into the mix. Many people who look at the style from a solely streetwear perspective may be turned away by how some of the silhouettes can be on the slimmer to wider side, but not on the normal baggy side they are accustomed to, which leads people to adhere to incredibly baggy suit trousers. I actually think some of the trousers on the very wide to semi-baggy side look really good, but the problem comes when they're just way too baggy. Practically the whole thing is just touching the ground and getting dirty, but that's just my personal opinion. I think a big part of formal streetwear's popularity now is because people are maturing with their clothes. A vast number of people are working in corporate environments, and depending on the dress code guidelines, there might not be a lot of room to work with for streetwear. However, there could be some slight things that can be incorporated from the style. Due to formal footwear taking over at the moment, you may have stumbled upon people asking the question of whether or not sneakers are dying, but I really don't think so. Sneakers will most likely be around for a very long time. The problem with formal footwear is that it's incredibly uncomfortable, especially at the back of the heel and other parts of the foot if the sizing isn't purchased correctly. I wore some loafers at a flea market one time in Los Angeles walking for hours, and at the end of the day, the back of my heel was just demolished. Eventually, it's only a matter of time before hybrid footwear and innovative material experiments bring greater comfort to formal footwear. Some examples of this would be from the Korean-based brand Afterprey, which released these loafers in different colored variations which provide comfort with elastic band detail on the heel and using sheepskin leather. Another example would be the Junior Watanabe New Balances that are set to release later in 2024. And for the last example, my personal favorite, these Plasticana Gardana clogs, which are made in France and Morocco from hemp plastic. The clogs feature an easy to slip on and off form that is ideal for gardening and are also waterproof with a very unique color that comes from the sugars present in hemp. It's worth noting that these clogs are very comfortable, and from a non-fashion perspective, a friend once told me that they thought I was wearing boots due to how they looked with pants on, which made me consider how different material compositions and formal footwear can actually significantly enhance comfort. As the evolution of formal footwear does continue to progress, it definitely does slowly contribute to the gradual decline in the dominance of sneakers. That's why sneakers are slowly losing relevance each year. Circling back to the beginning of the video, I mentioned two French photographers who inspired the concept of formal streetwear when I discovered them in 2023. Goldie Williams and Alex Dobé are among the top street style photographers in the industry based in Paris, capturing stunning images for fashion brands and fashion weeks. They are also some of the best dressed individuals alongside the people at these fashion weeks. What I love about their style is not only how well their clothes fit, but their minimalist approach. Most of the pieces that they wear are timeless in the way that they can be worn in various combinations that always look fresh. In contrast to the common belief that once a piece is worn, it can't be repeated, their approach emphasizes the value of carefully selecting reusable pieces, which is far more sustainable and stylish than buying items for single use. I also love the fact that they always have some sort of headwear, from berets to beanies to quality hats. For some reason, without a hat or any piece of headwear, it feels like something is missing. Hats complete the outfits in formal streetwear. Without them, the look feels incomplete or naked. Having explored the essence of formal streetwear and the key elements that define it, let's dive into some brands that epitomize this style. Based out of Germany, the brand OUTTA was established in 2019 by founder and designer Marcus Tuning. What originally caught my eye were these tone-on-tone black trousers along with the jacket, which introduced me to this brand. Japanese brand JIAN got my attention from their fall-winter 2023 collection titled Matagi, which takes inspiration from the culture Japanese hunters who would use unique words and hunting techniques who would hunt bears in the mountains. Established in 2020, Sage Nation is a clothing brand delivered by Sage Toda Nation in London. Built on Sage's dual Japanese and British heritage, the hybridization of these two cultures has engineered a unique approach to garment making which pays close attention to traditional materials, methods of design, and garment construction. All the fabrics used to create the garments are sourced both from Japan and the UK and are constructed in London. Named after the initials of its founder and designer Jean-Luc Ambridge Lavelle, JLAL is a brand that's become renowned for a particular focus on technological innovation and development, as well as for favoring experimentation. Curated Parade is a menswear brand established in 2021 based in Seoul. It shares the director's experience and philosophy using structural patterns. Based out of Japan, AURALEE starts with an extensive research of the best high-quality raw materials and yarns, sourced in Japan and all over the world. This is followed by the design and development of original fabrics, making the most of their non-pearl quality and value and giving each collection a unique flavor and a distinctive character. Brand SK Manor Hill's designs are inspired by vintage garments and classic silhouettes from around the world. Conscientious construction and attention to detail are key in each piece of apparel. All items here are made in New York City, predominantly using natural fiber fabrics sourced from Europe and Japan. And lastly, based out of London, Omar Afridi is a menswear brand by head designer Hayata Ichimori and creative director John Kikuta. Additionally, some retail stores that I take inspiration from that feature many formal streetwear pieces would be MAILLOT. MAILLOT is a select store that reflects a curation from different parts of the world. With diversity acting as the driving force, this is showcased through the wide range of exclusive street fashion, independent brands, and lifestyle elements. Chinatown Country Club is an independent fashion retail concept and label based in Sydney, Australia. Chinatown Country Club showcases a curated and innovative selection of emerging and established labels while at the same time operates as a multifaceted space. Their goal is to build an experiential and immersive destination, both physical and online, that connects, collaborates, and gives back to its community. As time progresses, I do believe that formal streetwear will continue to grow in popularity and resonate with an even broader audience. This style truly seamlessly blends versatility, comfort, and sophistication, which offers a fresh approach to fashion where personal expression meets timelessness. Whether you're layering a blazer over a graphic tee or pairing tailored trousers with sleek sneakers, formal streetwear allows you to effortlessly merge the best of both worlds.